Throughout my years on this planet, I've come to truly understand the circle of life. Motherhood has strengthened my deep and profound knowledge of this process. And not only because of the 347 viewings of The Lion King. With the birth of each of my children, I celebrated new life, yet I mourned loss. The birth of my first child brought the miracle of unconditional love and a fresh perspective on the world. But with him came the death of a good night's sleep and my ability to do simple math. 3 years later, I gave birth to my second child, welcoming another precious new life into my arms. With him, I discovered that my capacity for love and worry were endless, but my body's elasticity was not. Hence the death of my favorite bikini and my dreams of having 4 babies and miraculously morphing into Heidi Klum. With great care, I selected names for each new life. My beautiful flaxen-haired first child's name means bold, and my bright-eyed second child's moniker means bringer of light. My new double chin I named Bertha, which means brilliant ruler, and my new permanent back fat was called Beulah, which means married. In all the beauty and love of fresh motherhood, there is an ugly unspoken truth, one that is puffy, seeping, sore, and flabby. And you may have been one of the fortunate few who slipped on your pre-pregnancy jeans and sashayed out of the hospital with your newborn in one hand and your intact pride in the other. And I would like to say, good for you. That was not my experience. I was in the cookies, boxed wine, insomnia, and stretch mark club. My post-birth body did not resemble anything that I recognized as my own. And it became clear that with the beautiful new life of each child, parts of me had died with no hope of resurrection. Directly after the birth of my second precious baby, my heart was filled with joy. My body, however, was filled with hormones, pain, and a delightful mixture of motherhood fluids. I felt roughly like a mangy parasitic wildebeest who had been relentlessly chased by a pride of hungry lions. Recovering from a C-section, nursing a new baby, taking care of a 3-year-old, cleaning the house, preparing meals, and doing laundry are all manageable tasks on their own. Doing them all together was the equivalent of wrangling 5 feral cats at the veterinarian's office while carrying a 50-pound bag of dog food on one shoulder and being softly electrocuted by a constant low-voltage current. I was exhausted, sleep-deprived, emotionally drained, physically overwhelmed, and hormonally challenged. I was numb. The remnants of my former self were dead. I didn't even know the person I had become. Nothing on my body was recognizable to me, with the exception of my hands and feet, which were flaky and dry in the Colorado air. I was in the full throes of mourning. I may or may not have spent a lot of my time weeping. And that was when my charming husband stepped in to lend a hand. He quickly became the diaper deputy and the grocery getter. One day, on his way out the door to run some errands, he looked at his bedraggled, baggy-eyed, matted-haired, formerly sexy bride and asked, "Do you need anything?" I sniffed the baby's bottom to check for poo, tucked a delinquent strand of greasy hair behind one ear, tugged at the waistband of my giant underpants, and recited our wedding vows. I do. I am certain that in that moment, his carnal desire for me was at an all-time high. I glanced at my rough, ignored feet and said, I would love a luxurious foot cream to massage into my dry feet at night. Those are the only part of me that have any hope for normalcy right now. He said, "Dry feet, check," and bolted for the door. As I waited the requisite 2 hours that it takes for my husband to run one errand, I fantasized about expensive foot cream. I wondered where he would go to buy me the one thing that I requested. Maybe he would make a special trip to Aveda, or maybe he went to Macy's and picked up something lavish from the Elizabeth Arden counter. I pictured him standing next to the woman in a long skirt and clogs at Whole Foods, discussing the benefits of paying $125 for organically harvested oils that smelled of the rainforest and unicorns. I didn't know what he would pick out with me in mind, but I was excited at the thought of having a thick, rich cream to massage into my feet, making them feel soft and smell pretty, the kind of cream you couldn't also resist rubbing into your hands. It would probably come in a cute paper bag stuffed with tissue and tied with a ribbon. Wow, he had been gone a while. He must have made a special trip for my only request. When he arrived home, I anxiously watched him bring in bags of groceries and set them on the counter for me to unpack, groceries being so tricky to put away and all. And when I failed to see a cute paper bag, I asked, "Did you remember my foot cream?" He casually replied, "Oh yeah, I asked the pharmacist at Safeway about your dry feet. She assured me that this would be the best thing for your problem." Then, from across the room, he tossed me a small tube. I caught it. I looked down at the generic label. Antifungal ointment. I was pretty sure I didn't have ringworm, just dry heels. I contorted my face into an expression I call WTF. Yet I managed a weak "thank you," because at least he tried. That night, while perched on the toilet, tentatively wiping antifungal cream into my heels, in the same fashion I applied diaper cream to a tiny hiney, I contemplated the circle of life in motherhood. I had 2 beautiful babies whom I adored, yet whom had zapped my skin's elasticity. I nourished tiny bodies with wholesome food that I made with my own body, the same one that was lacking exercise and vitamin D. And I spent my days changing Pampers, yet I still needed a little pampering for myself, the kind without Velcro tabs and leak guard. I didn't know how I was going to deal with each new curve of motherhood, but thanks to my husband, at least I didn't have to worry about fungus on my hands and feet.